Hello everyone, I am in my car. So I thought I'd make a video just because I'm trying to use my time efficiently. My husband is in the doctor's office for he's has to remove some like a patch of cancer on his nose, and so it's kind of like an outpatient thing. So I came over here in my van and I thought, you know what, let me make a video, and while I'm here I could be productive. Here are my other stuff. I usually bring stuff in my backpack, and my little passport, my brown one. Oops, here we go. Sorry about I'm going to try to do this. I've never done this before, and in a car, and also don't worry about my dirty floors over there. But anyway, I just thought I'd do a flip through of my January through June Hobonichi Weeks, because I noticed yesterday that I haven't done one. So hopefully I can do this. And okay, I had to move you on my lap because my back was, I don't know, I was all twisted. But anyway, so to explain my system is I'm a bullet journaler. I'm a very functional planner. I like to add stickers after the fact. So if I have any white space, and then I may add some stickers. I also follow Franklin Covey because that's what I've been following since the 90s. And I feel like I'm shaking here. And I also do a dash of GTD. So as I go through my system, you may, find, a little bit interspersed throughout. So this first part here is an inbox. So it's very simplistic. I just have yellow Post-its. And if anything that comes to mind as I go throughout my day, this is where I would put it, and then transfer it wherever it needs to go later. If I have to buy anything or want to put anything on a wish list, this is where it would go because it's green. So I kind of color code for that. And then I don't really use this for anything, but I did decorate it. And then here, I keep track of my YouTube and my Instagram, my followers and subscribers. Here is my first part-time job that I work at. And so I just keep track of my hours there. This is my goals for the year. Sometimes I feel like I already explained this before and I may bore some people, just because I feel like I say the same thing over and over. But there are some, I may get some new followers or new people that are watching. So I do want to explain things. So here is the monthlies, and these are just basic monthlies. I color code everything. So I keep my bills are in green, or my husband is in green also. My paydays, anything church related is in orange. Anything important is in red. Anything in gray is for me. Purple is for my job. Pink is for my daughter. And anything in blue are like holidays and birthdays. So that is that. So here's my future log, and I always have a future log. And then here starts my goals, my monthly goals. So here would be January goals, and then my tasks for the month. And I like to break down my task via FedEx guys next door. So I like to break down my tasks for like by category. So general, my daughter, home, anything I want to add to my planner or changes I want to make, faith, church, work, and then YouTube. So some months are full and some months are not. And anything that I don't do or accomplish here gets migrated into the next month, or it gets migrated into my future log if I don't think I'm going to get it done that month. And I just use the signifiers and the markings for that. That's May, that's June. And if you notice, everything's color coded also, the categories. I just like to do that versus having a list, because my eye catches where I need to go. And these were just some Starbucks drinks, and these were just some notes that I thought I was going to use for like prayer or to have like a faith section, but that didn't work. I'd rather have a separate, I don't know, just a separate. I've done that before in my Stalogies where I had one book for everything, and the idea is nice, but I really like to have everything. I just like to have different books. Plus, that gives me an opportunity to use different notebooks at different types of paper, you know, and different covers and stuff like that. So it doesn't tie me down to just one book, because then I get that itch that I want to use something else. So that's how I do it. And it gives me an opportunity to use, like if I want to use a Stalogy, or if I wanted to use, you know, a Hobonichi cousin, that kind of thing. So basically I decorated. So here I didn't have much, so I did decorate if they're blank, and then I go in after the fact. But here I keep my appointments, and for my husband, myself, and my daughter. My youngest daughter lives with us. And then I draw a line here. The page you can do into thirds. And then here I put anything like, this is my one part-time job. You know, anything that's outside of appointments, I would put in here. And then here in the bottom, I generally have that little a stamp, and that's for my YouTube, if there's any ideas of YouTube videos that I want to make. And if you see, this page changes, but the bottom I try to keep the same. And then I have a stamp here for phone calls. Usually I put, like, if I need to call my kids, my older children, I put that there, or any other. Mainly it's them. If I have to make other phone calls, that usually goes on my general tasks. I'd started putting like 4 like quadrants, like specific things that I wanted to focus on for the day, and then general tasks down here. So, you know, if you can see, I put my general task up on top, and then moved my focus that I wanted to focus on, that I needed to get done, down here. And generally also here, these little stamps, it's the same stamp, but I color code. So green means that I ordered something, brown means that something is arriving. And then I put whatever's arriving. And that's how I keep track of, you know, I know some people, you have like, and I used to do it too, like, you know, what you're expecting. I forget what they call that. But instead of having that, I just follow my little stamps. And this is where I would keep them too, because, and then it's a visual for me. And sometimes I put anything extra. If I have an extra white space, sometimes I did scriptures. Sometimes I use little stamps in there. And then here, like scriptures, and here's an affirmation in my task. Sometimes I changed the format of the side, but it generally has the same information. It's just formatted differently. And sometimes I didn't have anything, depending on my week. Or I might have used like a notebook for that. But I do like to pre-decorate my pages at the beginning. So September, the new Hobonichi Weeks come out. I will order 2 because I'm still using the Hobonichi Weeks. This is because I don't homeschool anymore. I don't need like a big Stalogy. I used to use a standard Stalogy and a B6 Slim, and I used to, you know, create my pages, and I may do that one day, but just using something that's pre-formatted. And this size works perfectly for me, because when I homeschooled, I just needed more space than the weeks offered. But I'm loving it and I'm enjoying it. So when I order 2 in September, I will pre-decorate them, you know, set up my pages. And what I generally do is I have an older weeks that I don't use anymore, and I tear out pages, and then I glue them, not with glue because it stiffens the page. But so if you notice here, I cover the monthlies that I don't use, because I'm only using this for 6 months. And so the other 6 that I'm not using, I glue. And then I use the I don't know, the permanent, you know, roller tape. I don't know what you call it, because I don't have it here. I'm not sure where I left off. I'm going backwards here. So yeah, so I just pre-decorate, and it's the same information here. I was traveling to Chicago, so I put in my flight information when I'm leaving and when I'm arriving back home. And here I just had some white space, so I just put the scripture, and I just put some stickers after the fact. but this is working for me. And sometimes I may change what I add over here, just maybe a little bit of memory stuff. I think my grandson were visiting, so I just added, like, I don't know, kind of what we did every day. When I go on vacation, or I have, like here, my daughter was visiting with my grandson, I don't have a lot of tasks. So what I generally do, and I do that in my Commit 30, I switch over to what we did, because that's kind of what, it's kind of my book. My planner is also a memory keeping system. So that's why I keep a lot of what we did during the day. You'll see in my dailies. The reason I have 2 books is because I like having dailies, and so in note pages. And so having 2 books, I'm able to do that. I was thinking about getting 3 books, but I think 3 would be a bit much, I think. Here I started tracking. And if you'll see as I flip through the pages, this tracker right now is about like this in my current, and that changes. I do it based on my needs on a week-to-week basis. But this page is basically the same, and this is the only page that may change. And then I put in the weekend banner. I like that. Okay, so that ends that. Here I just did some journaling and some memory keeping. I kept track of how many pages total. And you know what? I started, here I had some breakfast ideas, lunch. I didn't fill that in because I thought I would. I had so many pages that I just started just writing in. So I started journaling, like memory journaling, like specific, just random. Hold on here. And then I started writing, like, ideas for like the passport. And anyway, just kind of like list. And I still have pages left over. So yeah, that's okay. I need to get over that. So at the back of my notes, so the one that I have now, I already allocated how many pages I would use per month. And then I think it's 12 and a half. So if I don't use that 12 and a half, that gets added to the next month. So it'll be 24, 25 pages, and then on and on until I use it. I'm always nervous that I won't have enough note pages. And you know what? I've been using the weeks for years and I've never run out. And I would think that by now I would just relax and just, I don't know. I guess it's always a subconscious fear. This is just some notes, expenses for my dog. She's expensive. So here follows the same format like as in the front of this format here. I just recreated it for my puppy, and this has like when I bathed her, when I bought her food, so that way I can see how often she eats. I get a new bag about every 6 weeks. She eats about 4 cups a day. Yeah, she's a big puppy. And her vaccinations, her doctor appointments, so everything is here. And then the big ticket items I just put there to, summarize. This is all what I get paid from my first part-time job. And so I like to keep that for tax purposes. And then here starts my 9 pillars. And I've reviewed this before, but I can review it again for those haven't seen this for the first time. This, I got at this idea from, I forget her name, but she no longer posts videos. She posted all her videos or changed them to private. So you can't even see them anymore, or I can't even see them anymore. But the idea is when she was going to counseling, the counselor had her draw out, and hers looks different, 9 pillars. So he basically said, we each have 9 pillars to make sure that we have a balanced life. And so what I did, so that's what it's called, 9 pillars of a balanced life. And so the items or the areas of our lives are family time, leisure, me time, friends, exercise, us time, which is my husband and I, work, contribution, and growth. And so if you notice, family time is the biggest, because to me that is very, very important. Me time and leisure, this January, that's when I was still taking care of my kittens. I just got my new puppy. She was only 8 weeks old. So you can see I didn't have a lot of me time. And let me tell you that really affected my mental health, like negatively. I was ready to give away all my pets And I love my pets. My kittens, I was ready to give away my dog. I was ready to I told my husband every other day, take her back, take her back. I don't want her anymore. And now I love her. You know, she's going to be 7 months. And so anyway, it was just getting past that puppy stage. And anyway, okay, enough about my puppy. So exercise. And so what I do at the end of the month is I can look at this and say, okay, where was I not balanced? Where am I lacking? So it's me time and friends. And so what I try to do is the following month, and this is not to, you know, get down on myself. This is for me to really get a bird's eye view of what, if you notice, my friends were mixed in, you know, had more, and me time was filled in the following month. So I felt like I was more balanced. Balance to me doesn't mean that every square needs to be equal. To me, it means I need to have something in each square. So even exercise, even if I do one thing, that's, you know, I call that a success. And so here's March, and I need to go back and update these. And how I do that is, okay, I'll show you in a minute. So let me show you right now because I'll forget. So in my dailies here, I have 9, you know, like a 9, I don't know if you can see that, a 9P. That means 9 pillars. And so when I scratch that off with an X, I know that I updated that. So that's why if you look here, and this is January, I think. I can't see through my phone. Yeah, January, it's scratched off. So I know that those pages have been updated. So let me pull you back. And I'm so sorry if this phone is a little shaky. So this is my index. And this follows Franklin Covey. Also, bullet journal. For bullet journaling, it follows that same format. And then I just put highlights. If there's something happening in the news, a big highlight in my life, or I don't know, you know, if somebody passed away, like sometimes there's famous actors that I've been, you know, that I enjoy. And so if they pass away, I kind of keep that there. I don't write them all, but just like ones that I've watched throughout my childhood or my adult life. This is my currentlies. What am I currently doing for planning, eating, all these little topics? What am I currently watching in YouTube? Because I think this will be fun if I look back through my planners and say, okay, what was I looking at or watching or on Instagram, or, you know, have I changed? What have I been celebrating? What was my weight loss? 4.6 pounds. I've been gaining, so I need to get back on track. So I like to do that for every month. Also, I have gratitude every single day, and my husband's gratitude. So that equates 1 month. So my index, my currentlies, my gratitude, and my husband's gratitude. And I do that every night, and I color code everything. I know this looks busy, but I tend to, okay, my husband had just finished and he came back out to the car, so I had to shut my camera. I don't like videotaping in front of, I don't know why. But anyway, so we sat and hung out, and what they do is they test, you know, what they took out from his nose, you know, skin, and they just call them back in. So they have to redo it, and they'll continue doing that, and then they test it, and then once the test comes out clear, then he has to go to the plastic surgeon. So yeah, it's going to be a full day. But anyway, let me, so I was talking about the highlighting. I highlight because my eyes takes me exactly, I know what the color coding system means. So when I'm looking for information, instead of reading each line item, I just go to the specific color. So if I'm looking for something for my youngest daughter, I just check all the pink and then, you know, go from there. So yeah, so I have every month that way. So it's 4 pages per month. And when I get my new book in September, because that's when the Hobonichi comes out, I always get a sneaker week. That is my favorite, because I love all the extra note pages, and I love softbound. Something about softbound, I don't know, just when it's hardbound, I don't know. I don't like when my book just kind of plops open because it's so thick, even though I don't think my book is too thick. I don't think it's too thick. It's manageable. So these are my dailies, and then I have it timed. This is a section for my daughter. This is a section for, usually it's what I watch on YouTube, any shows, faith messages, that goes there. From the bottom up, I do memory keeping, you know, everything that happened in our day via rapid logging. And then here, I don't do tasks here. That I either use, sometimes I'll use note pages in my Hobonichi Weeks, or I use a spiral notebook that I sometimes use. Right now I'm using a little those little mini composition notebooks that I have in my passport. So it can go into anything, because I don't need really to keep track of my task, because once it's done, and then I kind of memory keep down here what I did. So that portion I used to keep up here, but because I like to keep as much memory, you know, to my day, I took that out. So up here, sometimes I will write just extra memories. And then here in the middle, I always use my stamps. And so when I'm looking for something, like here, something arrived, I'm looking through my phone, so I really can't see. Here's anything important. This is when I do YouTube videos, I have a stamp. These are all stamps. And then this is a sticker. This is for my granddaughter. And then here is, I keep the day, the date, and the weather. And then here is important things that I need to do at the house. Here's important information and paydays. And here's like here's in green, and in every right hand corner are bills. So everything has its place. So when I'm flipping through my page, I know what I'm looking for. And then my weekends are Saturday and Sunday. I have two on it, because those days are, I don't know, I just keep them all in one page. And then these are what my dailies look like. Because I write everything in the hourly that we do, my husband, my daughter, and myself, and if anybody visits from my family, this I always update. So regardless if I update the, you know, memory keeping from the bottom up, that I can always go back and backfill it, because I know what we did during the day. And then I color code. So I have to color code, because that's what my eyes take me to all the time. And so yeah, those are what my dailies look like. And sometimes you see later, I'm not sure why I didn't fill those pages. Sometimes days just get so busy. I think I went back and I had so much white space, I just started adding stickers too. This is a birthday, my youngest daughter. So I did put that. We went to Nothing But Cakes. We went to different places. You know, if you sign up for, I don't know if this book is flat. Sometimes when you sign up for different, different restaurants on their app, and it's your birthday, you can go and get free stuff. Like in Panera, I got a free, you know, like a pastry. And so I got my favorite from there is the chocolate croissants. And here my granddaughter was born, so I can tell by the feet, and I have information there. So sometimes, oops, wrinkle there. And here's important information. So when I'm looking for important information or things that I've ordered, I just look in the middle of my pages and see that. So my eyes take me there, because it doesn't always fit in my index. And a lot of times I put that information in my index area. So I'm just going to quickly flip through my dailies, put my hands down here. And I guess I'd like to turn the page from the top. So I'm bringing you back out. It's really hard to try to do this without a tripod, so I apologize if it's shaking at all. I'm trying to keep it still and not breathe so hard on my arm, on my stomach, or lay my arm on my stomach. So, and then when my grandbaby visits, I just put a little synopsis of what she, you know, what she does throughout the day. I used to have a separate little journal for her, for each of my grandchildren, but it's just easier for me to write it in my planner than it, I don't know what it is, than to, because here I'm just, you know, writing it, and it's easier for me to do that. So if my daughter calls and we talk about, you know, my grandson, it's just, I don't know, I just put everything in here. And if not, a lot's not happening, I just fill it in with stickers. But writing goes in first. because that to me is, this is also a memory keeping system. So one day when I pass, my kids will have all my planners and my journals. And I want to get better at journaling and keeping memories, because sometimes I look back, it's like, man, I didn't write something down. And I know this is better than the way I used to do it, because years ago all I did was keep like a monthly of all my appointments. And you know what, thinking back, it's like sometimes my girls say something like, Mom, don't you remember XYZ? And I'm like, no. So yeah, this way I know my grandson was here, my granddaughter, they got in the pool. So I wish I had more pool stickers. But anyway, so see all these colors, I know what all those colors mean. And I had to close the windows of my van because it started raining, and then all of a sudden the weather was beautiful this morning. I mean, like cool and breezy, and now it's like hot and humid. So it's like I had to close my windows and turn on my air. So those are all my dailies. This is what it looks like. This is Taco Bell opens. They were closed for remodel for over a month, and we were like, what do we do? Where do we eat? So that's my husband's favorite place to eat. So here's YouTube videos that I've recorded. Of course, I'm getting a lot better, if you notice, but this is from January to June, and looking at this was like, oh my goodness. And here's books of the Bible and script. I have memorized no scriptures, so that was a, didn't happen, but that's okay. There's always tomorrow. So here I just keep like little notes. Sometimes if I'm looking for a piece of paper and I don't like to write it in my pages, so I just plop stuff there. And then the back, I think I was keeping track of my weight loss. I'm like, no, I need to do it on my self-care. And then I lost track, and so anyway, and I have to move these post-its to my new Hobonichi Weeks, which I do have post-its, but I didn't know I had some more back here. Apparently I missed something. And then I always use these back pages for pen test. So that is it. And then I just back here, this, when I am using my stamps, I always need like stamps. I always pull it open, and then I blot my stamp to take all the ink out, and then I put it in my little baggie that I keep them in. This is sliding out. This will be stored somewhere. I have to clear out a shelf, but that is my Hobonichi Weeks from January through my sneaker weeks from January through June. And as you can see, it's not that thick. See, not that thick, but it's well loved, well used. And I'm enjoying my new one, and I will probably do a separate video because I'm thinking this is a little too long, but I have to go pull out. So thank you so much for watching, and I apologize if my camera was a little shaky. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I love when you guys interact via comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon.